The Ravens Flock presents Theblackfiles, an uncensored interview and review podcast for all geek fandom.
Welcome everybody, friends and pals, guys and gals, boys and girls around the world. Pop a squat, pop open a cold one with all of your friends. It is Wednesday night, it's a couple of hairs past 10 p.m., and you have been granted access to the uncensored, uncompromising interview and review podcast of the Ravens Flock. Welcome to a brand new episode of Theblackfiles.
Absolutely, folks. And on the final Wednesday of February, we are finishing up this month with a lot of legal stuff, a lot of important things that we need to talk about. A follow-up from last week, but this is hilariously
painful.
You know what? I'll let Juan get to it.
Yes, as my friend Joe so eloquently put, February is the month of love. But let's just say that ending this month, there is very little love lost between all participating parties.
Very little indeed. Folks, welcome to the Theblackfiles. I'm your host, Juan Arauz, one of the members of the Ravens Flock. I am the tech guru of the team. You see this beautiful, lovely Blue Yeti microphone? I could be speaking into this. But behold, my tech guru geniusing says, no, you don't have the cable plugged in. Instead, use your that's plugged up to your H5 recorder that's drooping. Because tech, I know it better than the Muskie Man does. So take that. And joining me tonight are the usual suspects, folks. First off, let's go ahead and say hello to the man with a million opinions and zero apologies, the host of Los Amigos Play, the living id of the Ravens Flock. Folks, welcome one and all to say hello to Mr. Angel Mendez.
Hello, everyone. Thank you kindly for your time and your patience. It is a joy, nay, an honor to once more stand before you and share on what ways we can all together lose hope in humanity a little further.
Just a smidge.
Just a smidge.
Just a smidge. And, of course, let us not forget the man who started it all, the big bald bastard himself, host of Wrestle Rewind, the executive producer, content manager of the channel. Let's say hello to the man with a plan. Folks, give it up for Mr. Jose Casabona!
You know, I gotta say, I actually like the big bald bastard, the triple B. It sounds really cool. Take that,
Guy
Better
Fieri
Business
isn't
Bureau.
the only one who can do it. All right.
I know. I'm just like, yeah, it sounds cool. Take that, Better Business Bureau.
Better Business. I have yet to see anything better about them.
Except they do kind of help rate proper businesses, though.
I don't want that cricket on my shoulder.
Well, it doesn't matter. I'm the triple B now. They can go suck it. They can go and file a trademark for our new name.
Please don't.
The triple B can go suck on the triple D.
B cubed. Thank you, referee.
That being said, it's great to be here. Yes, we're wrapping up February with a lot of crazy shit. I think I already said that already. But that being said, I gotta say, it has been the longest 2 hours of listening to audio music that I've never seen, that I've ever experienced.
2 hours and 40 minutes, Jose. Let's not forget, there's 40 minutes at the end of that stuff. Joe, go ahead and take care of what we got to take care of first, Joe, before we continue.
Yes, absolutely. Much like all our other shows on this channel, we are simulcasting on youtube.com/theravensflock and twitch.tv/theravensflock online. Hit the subscribe or the follow button on the bottom right corner of your screen. Hit the notifications bell to stay up to date on all of our media content. Leave your questions and comments down below, and we will answer as many as we can while we're live. And if you wish to go above and beyond to support the Ravens Flock, then you can become a blessed inner flocker.
Wait, what's blessed about it?
For $4.99 a month, you will have exclusive access to many, many amazing perks that comes with being a member. Juan, stop scratching your head and explain.
Well, first off, for all the inner flockers in the chat, and I know we've got plenty, go ahead and show off those lovely custom emojis. Let me go ahead and say hello to everybody who's in the chat. We've got Nikki Bella, Planet Q's Queen, Jen Pearson, Reverie's in the chat. By the way, they've dubbed you B Cubed since you're the big bald bastard. Mistress Meg, for the record, Your Honor, that would be Linda. Lisa Boo is in the chat. Emily Morse is in the chat. Let me see who else is up in this chat. Oh, just a little somebody called the Popcorn Planet channel is on the chat as well.
Our boys.
And I hope you don't mind, Jose. I've gone ahead and I've wrenched the Popcorn Planet channel as well as a moderator in the chat.
You're perfectly fine. They deserve the wrench. And you know
when
what?
Everybody's a moderator, no one will be.
I'm gonna look for the Better Business Bureau logo. Try to find the letters themselves, and you bet your butt I'm gonna make a T-shirt out of it.
Oh, come on! That's so lame. Oh my God! I'm just kidding.
No, it's too late. You made it a thing.
We're doing this. It's happening right now.
It won't let you become a member? Hold on. It won't let Popcorn Planet become a member. How come? That is so weird.
Is there a limit to how many people you can appoint as a mod?
Yeah, good question.
Let me double check in terms of removing them as a mod. I'll take them off as a mod for a second.
That. I mean, Angel, come on, man. If Chris
and
Jericho
then you can
get away and make a movie reference from Dodgeball into a shirt and call it the Ocho, I could get away with making the Triple B as a logo for a T-shirt.
Okay.
We can try, but see, the problem is we are not Chris Jericho, and I am not strong enough to fight Chris Jericho.
Give it a shot now. I went ahead and took the wrench off for a few moments. While you're doing that, there's plenty of other ways that folks can support the Ravens flock. Because inner flockers also get access to members first and members only content, a special discount to our merch store. The link is right down here. We've shortened the link, tiny.cc/TRF shop. TRFSR capitalize. Remember that. It is important. And folks, you also get closer access to us, to myself, Jose, and Angel. You get we can have discussions in regards to your thoughts and opinions on the content that we produce and helping us further shape the future of this channel. So Inner Flockers is where it's at, and it's only low price of only $4.99 a month. Angel, you yourself continue saying, what can people really afford for $4.99 a month? Not that much.
Nothing.
Not that much
Barely
anymore.
anything worth the time or the effort.
And Planet Q's Queen said that they went ahead and they shared and tagged on Twitter. See, that's another way of supporting the Ravens flock. Sharing, liking, subscribing, making sure the notification bell is on. All of that is on the lowest price possible. Free. Like, actually free. Free, gratis.
This shit is so
as in I don't have to pay a single dollar for it?
Not even a single dollar. Also, Vicente Guerrero is in the chat. Go ahead and show up over there, Vicente. How's it going? Welcome to the Blackfiles. So let's take a look over here. Folks, you've been following our coverage from last week's episode of the Blackfiles. You know that the internet is hanging on a precarious balance. The internet as we know it. And the reason for this was because of a hearing that we've got today. Actually, no, yesterday. Today. Jeez, it felt like it was today. God, 2 hours and 40 minutes. Ah! Oh, my Lord. The United States Supreme Court, the highest court in all the land of this great nation, of Uzbekistan, no, whatever, of the United States of America, it was holding oral arguments for the case of Gonzalez v. Google, which stems from, if you'll recall from our coverage last week, a terrible incident happening in 2015, which resulted in the deaths of many people at the hands of folks who were declaring themselves as members of the Islamic State. ISIS for short. I'm not going to call them ISIS any further. I will simply call it the Islamic State. It's simply because that's a little trigger word, and we already, no joke, I was telling Jose and Angel here as we were starting that the moment we went live, boom, automatically hit with limited ads, limited reach. So it's so this episode of the Blackfiles right now, we hadn't even said any bad words. We hadn't even said anything controversial, and already we're given the boo-boo face of we're not allowed to have the reach that this subject deserves. So
if only you knew how despicable things really are.
It's fickle, it's dumb, and it's ridiculous, and I can't stand it. Yeah, there you go. I'm like, if Popcorn Planet, real quick, if you want to try one more time, in hitting the join button, I'll put the click on it over here. Give me just a second. And if it still doesn't work, because my theory is that maybe giving you the wrench before you try to become a member had a thing, had a hand in it, then maybe that's what's up. But if it's not the case, then I won't even worry about it. So
yeah, any bit of support could help, even by sharing this YouTube link publicly. I mean, heck, I went and shared this little link on Twitter myself.
See, exactly. Jose knows what's up. Angel knows what's up. You said it. Angel said it to the only people he knows how to trust: himself, that weird guy who looks at himself in the mirror, and his brother Michael.
And the voices in my head.
Yeah, but none of your voices in your head have a YouTube account, Angel. They're not subscribed.
How do you think my channel got so many subscribers all of a sudden?
You don't.
Exactly. They exist in my heart.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. Spread the news. Vixen's in the chat. Hello, inner flockers. And yeah, what's his face? Folks are talking in the chat of like stuff that you can afford for $4.99. Maybe a Whopper Jr. Maybe Happy Meal, a soda, right? Vicente,
come on,
sorry,
guys, don't make us hungry. We just ate dinner.
Yeah.
More importantly, a Whopper Jr. is filled to the brim with preservatives, old greases, and the spirit of many disgruntled fast food co-workers. It will give you indigestion, upset stomach, and diarrhea. We will give you something far more powerful. We will give you something far more fulfilling. We will give you knowledge.
Information, and of course our opinions on said information. And that is just as nutritious to the soul and to the mind as a Whopper Jr. would be to your stomach, which translates to mean we're complete junk. I'm kidding.
Exactly.
So all of this stemmed from this terrible terrible tragedy, which even though the members of the Islamic State who carried out these heinous crimes in Paris back in 2015 had all been found, tried, convicted, and sentenced, the Gonzalez family, who is stateside, had basically been making the argument that the members of the Islamic State, the members of this heinous group who carried out these acts of violence went ahead and were radicalized directly by YouTube by ways of the almighty algorithm and its search recommendation stuff. This has been a reach that not even Dr. Reed Richards, the world's most intelligent man, Mr. Fantastic, can't get a hold of. He can't reach that far.
That was a reach so long, it bypassed the moon, punched a hole to Olympus, and is currently on his way to Uranus, and grasping hard.
Yeah, it's grasping Uranus very hard. Not like, okay, for our anime fans, any of y'all know Bleach? Ginichimaru's Zanpakuto, his sword, the Shinso, it has the ability of reaching across miles and miles and striking its target no matter where it lies. Straight ahead without a problem. Not even that sword can do that! Not even that sword can reach this argument. This argument was held down in lower courts. It went up to appellate courts. It went up to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. And it came all the way up to the Supreme Court. Now, yesterday, as you heard us extol for 2 hours, 40 minutes, and just to get the extra bit of minutia, 41 seconds. I want those seconds back.
Yeah.
I want them all back. Because the way this was done is that all 9 justices of the Supreme Court, who, let's go ahead and line up, show folks the lineup here. Shall we? Let's see. We have the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, John G. Roberts. Then we have Clarence Thomas, very famously known for being in the middle of a blasted harassment deal with Ms. Anita King, with Dr. Anita King. Then we also have Justice Samuel A. Alito Jr., who's very famously a douche. Then we have Justice Sonia Sotomayor. She was the big, first new appointee when Barack Obama came in. We also have Elena Kagan. We have Neil Gorsuch, who was appointed by goddamn Donald Trump, followed by Brett Kavanaugh, our favorite Matt Damon impersonator. Jose, what is he like?
He likes beer.
What does he drink?
He drinks American beer.
None of, you're not drinking any of that Heineken on you, are you?
I drink American beer.
No further questions, Your Honor. And we have
a man who doesn't know the meaning of the word. Stop.
And oh God, Jose, that's horrible. Yeah.
Wow.
We also
We got
have
some crack team here.
We also have Justice Amy Coney Barrett, who is another Trump appointee, who literally exudes the question: what if we gave Karen power? What if we made the Karen the store manager? That's the power she's got. And finally, the newest member of the Supreme Court, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. I'm pretty sure I butchered her name, and I apologize. Now, these 9 justices who are meant to interpret the law, who are meant to take the laws that are broken down and passed out by Congress, meaning the House of Representatives and the Senate, if there's cases, or if there's lawsuits, or if there's disputes in how our laws are meant to be interpreted, you go up to trials. If it ain't good enough, you appeal it, and it goes all the way up to these 9 folks. Now, these poor 9 folks, I say poor because, like, I can only imagine if this was a headache to listen to for a layman. I'm sure that a lot of these folks were mentally checked out.
Oh, yeah, like the likes of us, I'll be the first to admit, we are not experts on law. In fact, I can say Mr. Arauz is more knowledgeable in the aspects of law than anybody in this room. I turned that thing on so I could get an idea of what was going on, and 30 minutes in, I'm surprised I lasted that long, my brain bled away. Did you ever get that feeling like your mind becomes like a soapy liquid, like cement?
Well, it might have been cement? It might have been the copious amounts of NyQuil that I drank 2 hours beforehand that hadn't kicked in. But while I was getting started on this, I gotta tell you, I'm pretty sure I was transcending consciousness, trying to interpret what the hell was going on. There were 3 specific people who were standing before the Supreme Court justices. Those 3, 2 of them are the attorneys on behalf of the 2 sides, and 1 was the Deputy Solicitor General on behalf of the Department of Justice. Now, the two on the side, the first one that you hear from is Mr. Eric Schnapper, Esquire, out of Seattle, Washington, petitioning on behalf of the plaintiffs, on behalf of the Gonzalez family, and everyone who joined them. On the side of Google and YouTube, our flagship platform and go freaking figure, heartless, soulless, evil corporation that uses our metadata and listens to our phones and reads our emails in order to sell us crap, who's actually not the bad guy this time.
That's the part that blows me away. Guys, we are actually defending YouTube. Think about that for a second.
Ain't it just the way? How crazy is that? We have Ms. Lisa Blatt, Esquire, out of D.C., also, Nora Otaku is in the chat. Hello, Nora.
Hello,
welcome to the Blackfiles. She says Angel looks
Thank you
handsome
for
for a
joining
villain.
us. You're awesome.
She says that Nora is over here saying that Angel looks handsome for a villain.
Thank you. Yes, I am glad that my little brother's art managed to capture the best part of my features, which is, in fact, all of my features.
Good grief. Dude. I would say quit preening your feathers, but you don't really have a lot of self-esteem stuff for yourself. Preen your feathers on
I have no need. This is not a boast. This is merely a statement of fact. You know, those things that were not stated in the actual fucking joke.
And there we go, folks. Now we've actually earned having to be demonetized for this episode.
Come on, Angel!
No, Jose! No, it's okay because
A,
we didn't swear within the first 15 minutes, 15 seconds, and
I
B,
kept an eye on the clock.
Literally, we're not we hadn't said anything controversial. We're stating the facts here. We are stating things that have happened. And
no, I'm not talking about that. I meant the F-bomb. Dang it!
No, that's fine. Leave it alone, Jose. It's not the end of the world.
No, I counted the clock. I always do it after 50 minutes. We are legally allowed to do it after 50 minutes, and we deserve it. Because you know what, Joe? We are stating facts. You know what that Schnapplehead was doing in the judgment? Not stating the facts!
Schnapple, made from the best stuff on earth.
I know. I sacrificed 2 hours of my life listening to this jokester.
I want your hours back. Not even mine. Give me your hours too. I demand your hours.
This ain't that weird sci-fi dystopian movie with Justin Timberlake and Olivia Wilde where time is a currency and you swap it with each other and everyone
Kinda
lives
feels
to
like
be
it.
looking 25 years old? What are you
Well,
doing
that's
trying
the
to
case.
steal Jose's time, Angel?
I'm not stealing. I'm trying to do a business transaction because I had to listen to that recording and I felt like somebody stole those hours from me. That wasn't a transaction. That was a theft. That was a crime.
God almighty.
That
By the way,
was
yeah,
a
that's a
very
weird movie,
serious
by the way,
crime.
folks. If you want to be weirded out.
I can't help but sympathize for Angel. I mean, shoot, man. I mean, like 2 hours
All right.
of this goddamn awful court hearing. Ugh.
It's really more awful because we're over here, we're laymen's, we're just regular ass guys out of Florida by way of Cuba and New York, freaking trying to make heads and tails of what these dudes are saying and spitting out and wasting time and trying to talk end runs around people.
Wait a second. Wasn't there a term for that? Like a legal term where you try to actively annoy the court into agreeing with you? Like politicians do that when they want to waste time to force people. Oh, filibuster. Would that
Filibustering.
be considered that?
Kinda.
Because it felt, I mean, I admit, okay, I won't lie. My brain checked out after 30 minutes. My brain went brrrr and slid out my ears. But maybe it's just me, but you did mention there was a lot of repetition in those first 10 minutes, wasn't there?
Yeah, there really was. And I'm going to get into that real quick. Firstly, I have to finish saying Malcolm Stewart is the Deputy Solicitor General from the Department of Justice. He's the one in the middle trying to figure out what the hell are we here for.
His face!
I can only imagine what he was going for in all of this. I can only imagine what the hell. Officially, that he's works as amicus curiae, which for normal layman folks like us, that means he's basically the impartial observer. He's the usually he's part of the brief to help figure out what part of the case in order to make this stuff make sense. If you want an actual translation, an amicus curiae is an individual or organization who is not a party to a legal case, but who is permitted to assist a court by offering information, expertise, and insight that has bearing on the issues in the case. So they're like, okay, dumb this down for me. Mr. Stewart, can you dumb this down for me? Okay.
So essentially, we had it's like saying, hey, man, we have a thief case in a chemical plant. We bought an expert chemist to tell us the danger of the things that were stolen. Something like that?
Better. We brought the expert chemist to tell us what was stolen, and then we realized that expert chemist doesn't speak human all that often. They're very awkward. So we have his best buddy, who is like his old high school buddy, who runs the local bar and sometimes takes bets on college football, but he still keeps track of his chemist buddy. And his chemist buddy and him were aces in chemistry schools and classes and stuff, but it wasn't really for him. He was more of a mix master behind the bar rather than in a lab.
I mean, technically still chemistry, so you know what? It counts.
So that's who this Stewart guy is. That's who Malcolm Stewart is in this discussion.
He's Johnny from the bar.
He's Johnny from the bar. There we go.
He was my bro in college.
Oh my goodness.
Of course.
Oh, shit!
Huh?
Really? Okay,
What?
first off, holy crap. Okay, let me take a look at something over here. Yeah, no, it sounds like wine. Yeah, filibuster. Yeah, that was the right one, Reverie. Popcorn Planet is over here asking, what about the new Florida law that trying to ban dogs from being able to put their heads out of a moving window, the window of a moving car? What the crap?
I will start
I
an
thought I
armed
saw-
rebellion for that.
What's up, Angel?
I will start an armed rebellion if somebody tries to pass that law.
Like, doggies are like, who hurt? I know that this was. I read something about this today. That this is put up by a Florida state representative. Let me see here. I'm actually going to look that one up.
Yeah, go for it. That being said, I want to be surprised, but this is Florida, man. Jesus. Like every
I'm gonna
day, I
slap
keep getting
people.
more disappointed in the Sunshine State.
If I am allowed to go into the woods with nothing but my pants, a can of beans, and my cojones, and get into a fistfight with an alligator and not get prosecuted, they could at least give my poor dog the chance to enjoy himself. That is man's best friend. You do not take away one of the few joys the world can give them.
Thank you.
I don't care what their reasoning is. That is not going to stand. I refuse.
Thank you. Good Lord, man. It's crazy enough as it is. Oh, it's actually a bill that was filed this past Friday by Broward County. It was actually the Florida state legislature. So Broward County Democratic State Senator Lauren Book. She filed this bill that would prohibit dogs from extending their heads out of car windows. Measures includes various animal welfare regulations, penalizing cat declawing, banning certain animal testing, prohibiting rabbit sales before Easter. Wow, really? Really? What about after Easter? What counts as after Easter? Jesus.
Yeah, well, that's a good question. Like, I mean, there are some good things in there. Declawing cats, animal experimentation. That's good, but the rest of it feels like a reach. Like you're pushing it too far, lady.
And the saying, and also requiring the Florida Department of Law Enforcement to post an online registry of convicted animal abusers. Okay, I'm for that because it turned out many moons ago I worked for an a-hole who was the manager of a restaurant. Let's just say that these guys. They are a bread restaurant who's a coffee place, but they like to call themselves a bakery cafe. Quite very jolie. That's why I don't go there anymore. And this a-hole apparently was running a dog fighting ring. And he needed to get arrested for it, and he did. But the only reason why he managed to get out is because he was actually buddies with the son of the franchise owner around here. But that's as far as I'm going. He's still an a-hole, and he still got fired, and he still got arrested later. So I'm glad for that. That's what I would be for. Yeah, I agree with penalizing cat clawing, but good grief. Yeah, you're guessing correct, Reverie. I'm not going to say. I'm not here to. But the Cavelli family are full of douches. Anyway, that's Florida for you. And from what I could tell, there's no way that this bill is going to be passed, namely because while it sounds like it's all nice and good in the beginning, the thing with the rabbits and the dogs is I don't think it's that's gonna let it pass. All right, we're gonna get back over here to SCOTUS.
Yeah, let's get back to the main subject.
But I appreciate you bringing that up, Popcorn Planet. Thank you, because I read something about it earlier today. I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. You gotta be crapping my pants. Give me back my pants, but clean them first. Anyway, all right. So, Angel, you said that you only made it through the first half hour of this 2-hour, 40-minute. And how many seconds did I say again? 41-second long audio.
I left it running while I was doing work, but at that point I checked out. The words were coming in, but nothing was checking in my brain.
I don't blame you. You're all right. Let me boil this down for you guys. There's a couple of different things that were being argued. I'm gonna give you the first half hour. Basically everything that this Schnapper dude, that Eric Schnapper, was trying to argue as part of why Section 230's protections of free speech on the internet. And I'll give you guys one more thing over here. Section 230, and I will show y'all exactly what it means.
Oh boy.
It's okay. So, where is it? There it is. I'll open up the Wikipedia page for everybody. It will make it very entertaining, and it should also make it very legible and stuff. So you can all follow along. Why did I become French? Oh, whatever. Okay, it doesn't matter. Section 230 is a section of Title 47 of the U.S. Code that was enacted as part of the Communications Decency Act of 1996, which is Title 5 of the Telecommunications Act of 1996. This is specifically what Section 230C1, which is the protection that we're all worried about, says as follows. No provider or user of an interactive computer service shall be treated as the publisher or speaker of any information provided by another information content provider. Basically, it says whoever's got an online platform that uses third-party content that's generated by users or by third parties, i.e. YouTube. YouTube is the platform. We're the content creators. The users are the content creators, right? A lot of this guy's argument, a lot of the argument from Eric Schnapper revolved around one thing that I couldn't stop coming back to pausing, and I even put up a goddamn tweet of it last night. I was 11 minutes in, and this guy was over here talking about how thumbnails are created by YouTube, as if the thumbnails alone are solely responsible for radicalizing people.
You don't understand, Juan. The YouTube wizard enchanted these thumbnails with radicalizing thoughts fueled by the powers of the Egyptian goddess Isis. But because wizards are stupid, it turned people into terrorists. And now innocent people have to die until we censor YouTube forever.
Oh my God.
That sounded very stupid in your brain. Congratulations. You know how I felt.
Yeah. I was going to say, you joke, Angel, but I wouldn't put it past it.
It was just the same thing, repeating it. Okay, Juan, count with me. In those 30 minutes, how many times did he repeat the word thumbnail and ISIS?
I don't need to count with you. I don't need to count with you. I could just pull up the blessed file, which, by the way, folks, I'm going to give all of you the link to all of this, because thankfully, the Supreme Court found it prudent as of 2010 to not only transcribe and audio record their oral arguments, which are open to the public, but also make it available to you guys for download for you to review. Here it is. Here's the link. This was what consumed my life for the last 36 hours of my blasted life, because apparently I hate myself. I'm going ahead and I'm pulling up the PDF file of 178 goddamn pages.
That's a lot of pages.
I'm not joking.
I have tax filing issues that were less complicated than this.
See this? 138! God almighty! Reynaldo Gonzalez et al. V. Google.
And this is why I chose to listen to the audio file, because I do not have the patience to read over 160 pages. Thank you very much.
I can't blame you, especially when 160 of those 160 pages, 159 of them look exactly the same. It's kind of depressing.
No, it just looks... Angel, it looks the same because it's words, and it's all in block format, and it's all just there to, like, be as plain as possible. That way no one interprets anything more than what's written on the font. Because people will do it.
I'm just like, I can barely get through, like, a couple of pages in a chapter from a book that I read, and I'm a casual reader, for goodness sake.
Legalese garbage meant to confuse and ostracize. More importantly, it's meant to hide. Every time that you get a legal document that repeats itself over and over again, it's there for two purposes. The first one is to cover all its bases. After all, if the defense is solid enough and they can find no flaw in it, nobody can argue against the argument. And second is to either hide a different argument, or more importantly, how stupid the basic premise is. And the fact that everyone figured it out should tell you how incredibly idiotic this entire field is.
Angel, it's not just that. I already
Oh,
said
no.
the reason
Oh,
why
no.
it feels like it's repeating itself is because this guy Schnapper. Listen, I'm scrolling down so folks can see. You get the word thumbnail 51 times in this entire document.
Jesus
How much of
Christ.
that was out of Schnapper? Let's find out here. See, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that's Justice Thomas. He's not really Justice. Okay, sorry. There's my political opinion there. 5, 6, 7, 8. No. Yeah, 9, 10, 11, 12.
I can't believe
13.
you're actually
Nope.
counting.
Yeah, 13, 14. God almighty.
Well, I think you proved your point. It's
15.
not worth it.
Okay. Should I go on, folks?
No.
Do you want to follow me
No.
into this hell of my own choosing? You want to follow along? Because this was a nonsense that I had to do until 4 a.m. last night. And halfway through my shift on my regular straight job, which, by the way, folks, I'm going to be real with y'all. I'm going to be really real with all of y'all. Okay. We here at the Ravens Flock have been, perhaps you could say that one of the reasons why even though we have a long tenure on this platform, we don't necessarily have the reach or the growth that one would expect out of seeing an over 10-year-old YouTube channel. The
You haven't
argument can
pissed
be...
off the right person yet.
No, we pissed off plenty of people. Don't you remember how when we started our channel, all of our videos were banned in the nation of Germany for some reason? You remember
good
that?
point.
Just
We should have gone ahead with that terrorist plot after all.
Angel, no. God almighty, no.
I'm just saying.
My girlfriend
Oh,
lives in
listen.
Germany. Knock it off.
The public doesn't care until the political figures are in danger. So you know what you must do to make them understand.
No, Angel, cut it out. I'm not going to throw cheese at the halls of Parliament in Berlin. I already told you I can't afford that much. Drop the act. It's been ages. Let it go.
Fine. We'll
Now, I'm trying to get
workshop
to a
it later.
freaking point. If you'll let me. The point I'm making is that the argument can be made that the reason why the Ravens Flock hasn't seen as much growth or as much reach as many other channels of our tenure is because we balance our operation of this channel and producing content, producing shows, putting work into it, and at the same time having to balance that with our work lives, with having to work straight regular jobs because we weren't eligible for monetization. We weren't able to make YouTubing our job until very recently, where that's become a distinct possibility. So it can't.
Alas.
So you can make this argument, but that doesn't detract from the fact that we've been busting our butts in order to help push this channel from the moment we've been on here to give folks the knowledge they deserve, to give the representation to the nerd community that we've been pushing for over 10 years. I would love nothing more than to be able to do this full time. So would Angel. So would Jose. Jose would love nothing more than to actually be paid by
I would
YouTube.
like to devote my entire life to have to just nothing but like 100% to this channel.
And Angel would love nothing more than to get to continue playing video games nonstop and get paid for that by YouTube.
Alas, were those beautiful days ours? But no, these evil days are ours. We are forced to listen to these empty platitudes and piles upon piles of words, meaning
Angel.
so very little, yet saying so much. Now,
You're missing the
Mr.
balance. You're missing the point. The point is,
Eh.
the point I'm making is, it would have been a lot easier for us to be able to do all this research if the Ravens Flock was the only thing that we could do in our lives. So I'm counting on y'all folks to do what you can, spread the word, show the folks out there what we're about. Help us out by spreading the word of this channel, sharing like you've done earlier today. Shelly Fitzgerald, by the way, I see you here. Welcome to the Blackfiles. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. Share this channel, like, subscribe. put comments in even after the live stream. I appreciate y'all commenting over here, but it's insane. We love doing this stuff, but we also got to work for the man. We got to do dumb, regular Joe Schmo jobs. I don't like it, but it literally pays the bills. But we would love to pay the bills doing what we love to do, and that's being here for y'all. So this aside, we appreciate every single one of y'all who's been here. But we thank you guys so much for all of it, for all of your support. Again, thank you. Speaking of which, holy crap. Ask and thou shalt receive. Reverie with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Reverie.
Yay! You are awesome, Reverie.
Much appreciated.
Your kindness and generosity does not go unnoticed, and we appreciate whatever support y'all folks can provide. Thank you very much. And Reverie is saying, I don't know how much of this goes to you guys, but here. Namaste. Thank you very much.
Thanks, fam.
And we appreciate that. And yeah, Vicente Guerrero even shares Wrestle Rewind after we finish streaming. See, there we go. That's what's up.
Oh,
yeah, appreciate that, Vicente.
He knows what's up.
Now,
thank you so much.
Getting back to this. Getting back to all of this. Now, Angel, we can bemoan the drudgery of words.
Ugh.
Okay, now we can get to the point that you were thinking that we were making, but thankfully, we're going to be able to get back to this. Point is, this guy, Eric Schnapper, he was trying to talk circles around the justices of the Supreme Court, making the argument that the thumbnails for every video is made by YouTube alone. And that alone causes people to have no choice but to click on the thumbnails and then have to provide, and then are provided content as a result of that. And then that's when the recommendation algorithm kicks in, and then before you know it, we're over here minding our business, watching golf videos, and before you know it, ISIS is everywhere! The Egyptian goddess Isis is everywhere. Good lordy! As you were trying to say earlier, Angel. Oh my freaking god. This guy was using that name, like CC, but reverse.
Yep.
He was using that more times than he was using the word thumbnail in his argument. I couldn't stand it. And what's even more depressing is that the older justices on the court, namely Chief Justice Roberts and Justice Clarence Thomas, and even a little bit Samuel Alito, the bunch of them were, huh?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
A bunch of old foggy dudes that barely remember how to wash their hands and decided to blast them with a pile of, you know what? We can't even call this newfangled technology. How long has YouTube been around?
About
I want to say since the mid-2000s.
5?
Exactly. And even then, there's an older generation that just doesn't know how it works very well. Hell, my mom still struggles with the website every now and then. So,
how about that? Valentine's Day 2005 is when they started. How sweet.
The average old folk has trouble even understanding basic YouTube functions. Imagine trying to explain to them the shenanigans that is the algorithm. Yeah, like it sounds simple to us, but you start talking to somebody a decade older or so, and they start acting like you're reciting black magic spells from the Necronomicon or crap.
Let me show y'all over here, folks. In the blasted thing, I'm over here. I typed in confused. Justice Alito.
Dazed and confused.
I'm afraid I'm completely confused by whatever argument you're making at the present time.
Oh, Christ.
You thought I was making this up? Boom. Next one. Jackson. Really? Okay. So I guess I'm thoroughly confused. But let me try to understand what your argument is. This is all to Schnapper here. This is all in the first 64 pages of the last thing. Let me try to understand.
64.
Yep. I think the confusion that I'm feeling is arising from the possibility that we're talking about two different concepts and conflating them in a way. I thought that Section 230 and the questions that we were asking in this case today was about whether there was immunity and whether Google could claim the defensive immunity, and that that's actually different than the question of whether it does give rise to liability. That is there liability for aiding and abetting? That's tomorrow's question. That's referring to the session in court happening today between in the Supreme Court regarding Twitter v. Where is it? Let me see here. I saw it. Shut up. I saw it.
This is such nonsense.
I said shut up. I saw it. Where'd it go? Blah. Here it is. Yeah, Twitter v. Tamney. This one's also another gigantic freaking internet privacy and internet sustainability case that's happening right now. We're dealing with the one of Gonzalez v. Google, namely because of it dealing with YouTube, namely because this one is dealing with whether or not websites are provided protection as a platform from being liable of what the users put down as content that the website then disseminates. Now, I was listening to the rest of this. Malcolm Stewart, the amicus curiae, the dude from the Department of Justice, the Solicitor General, Deputy Solicitor General, the dude in the middle trying to translate this crap. It sounded more, while he was actually discussing this and trying to break this down, translating the nonsense that Schnapper was saying this whole time, the thumbnail, ISIS, crap that he was
he's trying
spouting. It sounded more like he was kind of priming the justices as to what would make a good reason for having the protection under Section 230 taken off. It sounded like he was working an agenda, and more. It wasn't nearly as obvious as it was under what's his name, freaking Neil Gorsuch. Let me freaking find his stupidity.
I could never pronounce his last name.
Gorsuch.
Gorsuch. It just sounds weird.
This actually reminds me of a very, very, very funny compilation video that a YouTuber by the name of Vic Berger did and he basically just crapped all over Donald Trump's appointment of Judge Neil Gorsuch at the Supreme Court, and it kept cutting to like different ways of how he's pronouncing his last name, and it's so bad.
It just makes no sense.
Really?
Not being honest with you, there is a part about this that, listen, I'm laughing because of how stupid it is, but in reality, there's an undercurrent of disgust that I cannot help but to feel, because, guys, we got to look at this in context. Someone died. An innocent woman was killed by a radicalized terrorist who will hopefully spend the rest of his life in a deep, dark hole. And this lawyer, this representative of the law, is trying to take away agency from the criminal and put it on YouTube. Let's not lie to ourselves. This is serious time right now. This person was already messed up in the head. A person doesn't become a serial killer or a terrorist just because they see a bunch of YouTube videos. And even if the thumbnails show provocative content, it is still up to the person who controls the computer to click on those videos and watch them. No one forces anyone to watch a YouTube video. No one forces anyone to pick and choose what they want to click on. There's nothing stopping you from walking away or watching something else. This person did it. This is their fault, their responsibility, and they owe society a debt that they will never be able to repay. This argument, beyond extending into the bounds of causing the difficulty of censorship, is doing something that has a very disgusting precedence. It's trying to take away accountability and culpability by the criminal and claiming that the method, or rather the means, if they even would apply, are more responsible than the person. This is a very much guns don't kill people, people kill people argument, and I know it's tried and true, but it is tried for a reason. It feels like very filthy, like, no, this was in a very case of an individual person. Why or how they were radicalized matters very little compared to the fact that they were. You can't force a person to radicalize. That is choices they make. And I don't know, trying to turn this into an issue for YouTube, it feels like they're trying to take away the responsibility that that person has as a criminal. It feels infantilizing, you know? How old was the killer? How old was this person?
The killer, it doesn't say. I don't care. They can rot.
Exactly. Well, I'm going to assume, for the sake of argument, this person was an adult, because they killed an adult as well. And I'm going to assume, for the sake of argument, this person is not a child, because if they were a child, you bet your ass it would be all over the news forever.
Dude!
What?
Oh God! Sorry for interrupting. Okay, I blinked.
I thought I said something wrong.
No, Shelly Fitzgerald just gifted 5 memberships to 5 folks here who are now inner flockers. So I want to congratulate Lisa Boo, Crystal Antes, Tammy Holcomb, Tiffany Washington, and these special snowflake for all becoming inner flockers. Holy crap!
Congratulations to all the listeners and viewers. And thank you, Shelly. You are an absolute darling. I cannot express my gratitude in enough words. Thank you so much.
Yeah, okay. Also, the Joseph Santos is in the chat. How's it going, the Joseph Santos? Welcome to the Blackfiles. Hope you're doing well tonight over here. K-Storm. Hey, yeah, no. One of our member of our mod squad, Shelly Fitzgerald, she gifted 5 memberships off over here. That's
which is good, and we appreciate it.
Yo, you guys are so sweet. You guys
that being said, Angel was in the middle of something, a food for thought.
I know. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay. This is great news. I appreciate it. The point I'm trying to get to is one of the reasons why I simply cannot take this person seriously is because they are trying to, unwillingly or not, making it seem like the person is less guilty than whatever methods they use to convince themselves that killing an innocent person was a good idea. This is like watching a documentary on how you make knives and deciding to stab someone to death. You blame the criminal who stabbed the person to death. You don't blame the knife factory. This entire thing feels like we are blaming they are trying, obviously not succeeding, desperately trying to blame the knife factory.
Shifting the blame so that the actual party doesn't take responsibility.
Exactly. By that logic, why do we even bother to arrest criminals at all? Just go after whatever manufactured the gun or the knife, or the car, or the poison, or the myriad ways a person can be killed nowadays. It's idiotic. It's insulting, frankly. Not just to the very justice process itself, but to the lives of the innocent victims that were taken because this piece of garbage decided that the best way to make a statement in the world was to take someone out of it.
Now, this is now here's the funny thing. Even though Eric Schnapper was stumbling and bumbling and like trying to play like word salad hockey using an air cannon at the Supreme Court justices, trying to conflate thumbnails and CC and all that good jazz. When you actually break down the word salad and see what Malcolm Stewart was trying to help them freaking understand what he meant by this, the argument is that thumbnails was being used as the shorthand for the fact that the image is provided by the user, but the URL of the YouTube address of the YouTube video is generated by YouTube, and that somehow the thumbnail, clicking on the thumbnail, automatically means that YouTube is responsible for the thumbnail and responsible for the content. That's still like. No.
What?
What they did was...
Excuse me, what?
Yeah. I'm just as baffled as you. Like, okay.
Wow.
Now, this is the craziness of all of this. Even the Supreme Court justices were trying to freaking make sense of it all, and they were saying, like, dude, every like, one quote in here is, like, every time anyone looks at anything on the internet, there's an algorithm involved. Where we're basically saying here how, at the end of it all, there is still an argument to be had for the fact that the way that this stuff is organized is up to YouTube, but that doesn't mean that it's YouTube's fault. this is somehow aiding and abetting in the horrible acts of unaliving folks and taking people's lives, and all in the name of an extreme radical religious belief. Like, there's no way that holds water. They were like, every one of the Supreme Court justices were trying to see, like, okay, are the algorithms for each type of video unique, or is there just one algorithm? And anyone who knows anything, even Schnapper had to argue to freaking Clarence Thomas here. I'll show you guys. I'll show y'all. Page 5, right in the beginning, page freaking 5. Like, okay, Mr. Schnapper, just so we're clear about where your claim is, are you saying that YouTube's application of its algorithm is particular to, in this case, that they're using a different algorithm to the one that, say, they're using for cooking videos, or are they using the same algorithm across the board? Schnapper even says it's the same algorithm across the board here. So what if it's the same algorithm? I think you have to give us a clearer example of what your point is exactly. The same algorithm is to present cooking videos to people who are interested in cooking, and these guys, CC videos, to people who are interested in CC, racing videos to people who are interested in racing. Then I think you're going to have to explain more clearly, if it's neutral in that way, how your claim is set apart from that. This is just in the opening minutes.
Even the judge, the man's so old that he probably remembers what YouTube looked like before it existed, went, wait a minute. If you're telling me that thing A is not like thing B, so thing A is just thing A, is that correct? Yes. Then by your own logic, this makes no sense. Elaborate, dumbass.
Good grief!
Can you imagine? We needed 2 hours and 40 minutes for an argument that debunked itself 5 seconds in.
Good freaking God, it's insane.
It's disappointing. It is incredibly disappointing.
Now,
yes.
Also, we got, yes, please. Shelly's just saying, just remember to renew y'all's memberships at the end of the month. Mistress Meg is over here saying that the audio of all this is much better than trying to read it all. The thing is, we had to read it and get the audio in at the same time so that we could try and follow along, so we can point to stuff like this. Now, the Joseph Santos saying, I watched the whole thing. I don't think the plaintiff did a good job at all. The defense did a much better job. Adriana G is in the chat. How's it going, Adriana? Welcome to the Black Files.
Hello, Adriana. Thank you for joining us.
And also, we've got the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS is in the chat. I Smell Geek and Pensacon. I haven't been to Pensacola. I hope you have a fun time. I know that Pensacon is around the corner, so I hope you enjoy yourselves, TARDIS. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Joseph Santos saying, the key question is about whether the automated algorithm is equal to aiding a crime. Again, the plaintiff didn't do a good job of anything. That's why this case already failed twice. Yeah.
Yeah, mainly because the entire argument falls apart. The argument cannot aid you because the algorithm works the same for everybody. And if the algorithm works the same for everybody, then the sole responsibility lies on the person watching the video and choosing what they click on. It's like, how do I put this? Hey, Juan.
Yeah.
You ever been to Home Depot? You have been to Home Depot, right?
Yes, I have.
Everybody's here been to Home Depot. Home Depot is filled with extremely delicate and somewhat dangerous construction equipment. Yes?
Yes, it is.
However, it is the same equipment for everybody. If I hold a drill and I give it to you, it suddenly doesn't turn into a buzz saw. It's still a drill.
Yes, it is.
However, if I choose to go home and use that drill to perform housework, and you choose to use that drill to reenact every single Japanese horror movie you've ever seen on somebody that you're pissed at, does the drill simply stop being a drill?
No, it itself is still a drill. However, I would have, in this hypothetical, which we're simply saying for the sake of hypothetical purposes, a freaking obligatory disclaimer, we're giving a hypothetical, so YouTube human reviewer, the almighty algorithm, Uncle Neil, Mohan, Uncle Neil, obligatory disclaimer, we're not actually endorsing any of this stuff. This is a hypothetical for the sake of it. Okay, so if I were to implement said power drill in such a comedically over-the-top and clearly volatile action, then that means that I implemented it as a weapon in order to take the life of a person. It itself is not explicitly made for the purposes of taking the life of a person. Now, a freaking claymore sword can be. However, if it is designed with a blunted edge and designed very polished and designed to not be made of very strong steel, then it can be argued that it is simply a wall decoration. Now, if said wall decoration is used in, let's say, the defense of a home burglary or a home invasion robbery, then it can therefore at that point be construed as a weapon. Now, how good that weapon may have been used in said home defense depends entirely on the wielder and the rest of the circumstances. But the point is, a weapon doesn't become a weapon unless it's already made to be explicitly a weapon, usually firearms and or combat knives and or combat swords and or vehicles of warfare and or delivery vehicles of high ordnance explosive devices, aka Angel's dream car.
Yes.
But anything else, if it was not expressly designed or invented for the express purpose of taking the life of another person or creature, then it itself is not a weapon. Okay?
Well, I don't understand it. If I don't understand it, then it must be linked with ISIS, period.
Yeah, what the hell are you talking about? But yeah, the whole point it boils down to is the fact that YouTube, in of itself, is a tool, just like the drill, just like the wrench, the socket wrench. Essentially, YouTube is a tool to obtain media and videos, and its main purpose is to provide entertainment. Now, just like everything else and every other tool, it may be used to cause harm to people, but that is not upon the tool itself. That is upon the users of the tool. If the same rules apply to literally everyone else, then if you use it for harm, then that is on you. It is your decision. And you're telling me this person made it very clear within 5 minutes and then spend almost 3 hours trying to say, but wait, that's not what I meant.
I'm afraid so. And this was, I kid you not.
Well, I still don't know. Okay, I'm going to stop.
I was going to say, I kid you not. This
come on, Angel. I'm trying to add levity.
And this was debunked by, I kid you not, the oldest sitting member of the Supreme Court. Clarence Thomas was born in 1948. This dude was old. This dude was around to have been awed and inspired as a 21-year-old by the moon landing. So watching it live as it happened.
Even he, old as he is, he may not know much about YouTube, but he understands a lot about legal arguments. And he smelled the bullshit the second he saw it, didn't he?
So go freaking figure. The one dude who seemed to be so confused later on, because he's over here saying, again, I'm thoroughly confused by this argument. An hour and 10 minutes in. And in the first, 3 minutes or whatever, he crapped it away and knocked it out while freaking Eric Schnapper kept blathering on and on and on. Now,
it's amazing.
This doesn't necessarily mean that we got to remember, it's not just Eric Schnapper, one lawyer, just representing the Gonzalez side. We do also have the other side of the playing field. We've got Lisa Blatt, who's the attorney for Google. Now, she brought up something explicit. She brought up one very explicit theorem, one very explicit, shall we say, possibility. I'm gonna pull it up for y'all right here and right now.
All right.
And for any of you who went ahead and downloaded or have the PDF, go ahead and go to page. Where is she? She starts in page 124. But let's go ahead and go to line 4 of page 125. I'm going to read this to y'all, and if anyone wants to follow along, feel free, or read on your own time, or do what we will do here and read along. Yeah. So you have one of two things happen. That would happen and would have happened then and would happen now. The first is websites just won't take down content, and that just defeats the whole point. And you basically have the internet of filth, violence, hate speech, and everything else that's not attractive. Angel, I can hear you purring in contention there. I am
very satisfied.
I can hear you there, you know. Not everything can be 4chan, Angel. I'm sorry. She continues. And the second thing, which I think a lot of the briefs are worried about in terms of free speech, is you have websites taking everything down and leaving up, basically you take down anything that anyone might object to. And then you basically have, I'm speaking figuratively and not literally, but you have The Truman Show versus a horror show. You only have anodyne, cartoon-like stuff that's very happy talk, and otherwise you just have garbage on the internet. And Congress would not have achieved its purpose of, and remember, it had in all those findings, only 3 of which are addressing the harmful content. Most of it is dealing with having free speech flourish on the internet, jump-starting a new industry. And it is conceivable, and it's inconceivable, that any website would have started one lawsuit freaked out the Congress, and then she comes in from there is cut off by Justice Kagan over here. Just suppose there weren't pro Islamic State algorithm. In other words, it was an algorithm that was designed to give people these guys videos. Even if it hadn't requested them or hadn't shown any interest in them, still the same answer that a claim built on that would get 230 protection. And Ms. Blatt says, yes, except for the way Justice Sotomayor raised it, which is material support. So if there's there's a criminal exception. So if you have material supporting collusion with the Islamic State, that's accepted from the stature. Okay, so getting over here on page 120, that was 125, where she's saying, here you have either absolute filth and absolute garbage, and the entire internet is nothing but 4chan and 8chan and 12chan. And Angel, I can hear you laughing. I can hear you muttering how you wish to be free from these shackles, from these chains of societal propriety. Sorry, Angel, but not everyone gets to be an agent of chaos. The last guy who tried got too deep into it, and unfortunately he passed away. Rest in peace, Heath Ledger.
He went out like a boss in absolute chaos.
No, he didn't. He went out in a terrible tragedy. What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, it was very chaotic.
So it's either we get trash and garbage internet, or we get, okay, you know how Ned Flanders censors everything for his freaking kids?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Kids, get the alcohol, free alcohol. And there's another word, let's celebrate with some non-fat ice milk.
Yeah, basically. She's pointing out the very idea that South Park itself pointed out many years ago. Either everything goes, or nothing does.
I went ahead and threw up the slurs emoji for you, Angel. Just so you know. I throw that up for you.
My soul resonates with slurs.
I throw this up for you because, God almighty, this is bananas.
Yeah.
This is absolutely batshit insane.
It
We're
is.
an hour into our show. I don't give a damn. I'm swearing. We could swear. Fuck.
It's an hour in, and we know that the man doesn't want us to actually have money. So screw it. We will at least have freedom.
We'll speak freely. And we'll friggin' swear our heads off, I guess. I don't know. Point is, she brings up the only real valid point in all of this mess when it comes to what will happen if the court decides that they're going to say carte blanche, gloves off, the algorithm goes, it's time for everyone to lose protection under Section 230 on the internet forever. It doesn't matter what sort of moderating that they do. It doesn't matter what sort of moderation tools are used by the service providers, by the websites, by the platforms. None of that matters. That's all gone. Kaboomskis. Y'all can sue now.
Imagine the entire world turning into B.
Imagine the entirety of the internet turning into B of 4chan.
Imagine the horror the unspeakable tragedies that would occur. Like, you think that the internet is filled with filthy, horrible things now? You have no idea to the depravities that the darker side of the internet can get to. And I tell you this for your own good. You do not want the world to fall down into that extreme, just as much as you don't want the world to fall down to the other extreme, which is basically safe mode forever. It doesn't matter what you're looking for. Safe mode. Now.
Okay, there was this, like, you even reminded me, there was the politically correct Christmas festival that South Park was doing, like, oh, the kids aren't allowed to have anything festive or anything that might be offensive, so we end up with this weird, bland,
modern dance.
Modern interpretive dance with no lights, and the kids are all wearing these gray suits that make them look like blocks.
Is this weird techno thing?
No, it wasn't even techno. No, techno is fun, okay? Daft Punk is putting out the 10-year anniversary of Random Access Memories, their last studio album. They're putting it out, and I want it. Techno is fun, damn it.
Well, what the hell was the music, though?
That wasn't fun. You want to know what it was? It was dumb. That's all it was. Well, my fanfiction site would be like, since Planet Q's Queen. Yeah, oh God. Oh.
There would be no creativity. Nothing but the filthiest, most horribly written smut ever. Not even good smut, too. Like, complete garbage smut.
Okay.
The kind of thing that still uses the word explode as an euphemism for ejaculation. That bad.
Okay. There is one that I have to find.
38.
Yeah, go ahead.
No.
He was
So I'm going to be really honest with you, Juancho. I'm going to be honest with you, Juancho. Near the end, I did kind of drone off.
I know you did.
That's how bad this was.
Can't blame you. It was pretty boring.
No, not a matter of, well, okay, it was a little boring, but it's not just that, but like they've already lost. They were fighting a losing battle. Like the moment that lady started talking, I'm like, yeah, no, she's not going to save this one.
Wait,
like Juan, you know who I'm talking about, right? Near the end.
Yeah.
No, I don't know who you're talking about because I need to know who you're referring to, Jose.
Okay, so in this recording, the first person that spoke was that lawyer, the
was
stuttering
Schnapper, the dude on the side of Gonzalez.
Stuttering Schnapper. There we go. Stuttering Schnapper was the first one to talk. Yes, I nicknamed him because he deserves it.
Snap.
Yeah. And then after Schnapper and after Gorsuch, then another woman took the stand.
Yeah, Schnapper. No, the lady who took the stand was Blatt. She's the one in defense of Google. Lisa Blatt.
Oh, okay.
She's the one who said that if you take the protection off, you either end up with Truman Show or Horror Show.
Oh, yeah, okay, never mind.
She was the one making the argument, and she made sense. She pointed out the most simple, understandable point. The protection is not there just for the sake of the company; it's for the sake of moderation. I mean, okay, let's get one thing straight here. I do not like censorship. I am not a fan of altering someone's works to fulfill some insane idea of political correctness. But I understand that for the sake of making a website that is for all ages, certain content on YouTube has to be trimmed down and cut. Let's be honest, there is a lot of gore, garbage, porn, and just unpleasant crap that nobody needs to see on YouTube. You want to see that? You find it on a different website. And I'm telling you this because back in the day, before the rules of YouTube were fully settled in, you know what I found the most in YouTube during the early days?
What did you find?
Fully uncensored hentai. Entire episodes of the stuff. I wasn't even looking for it. I just stumbled upon it. So, obviously, a certain amount of moderation is required. You gotta find a decent middle ground, which we sure as hell ain't finding right now, eh, Susan? Your legacy lingers on even after you leave. But I digress. While a certain amount of censorship is necessary, you also gotta know when to dial that crap back, because too much of it, and you get what YouTube is turning into right now.
Okay.
But as she says, we take away the rules. Either this car has all the brakes and doesn't go anywhere, or this car has no brakes and is going to inevitably crash into something. Know what I'm saying?
Like, we need listen, it's a matter of the brakes themselves being on and who gets to actually put their foot on the brakes. That lies on both the users, which is us, the content creators, and the platform. In this
Yes.
case, YouTube. YouTube is providing the breaks. So, like, okay, we can help report to YouTube content that breaks terms of service in one way or another, if it's offensive or vile, or if there's anything horrible happening on it. YouTube then reviews it, either using their bots or human reviews. At that point, YouTube then takes action. There's a level of there that YouTube, it does have auto detect on stuff, just like what it does when it comes to copyrighted material. That's how they know that's how they know whenever you try to upload a whole, let's say you downloaded Interview with the Vampire, and you want to put it all up in one shot. Ba-boom. Guess what? YouTube says, this is copyrighted material. This is that crazy movie starring Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt and Antonio Banderas, and they're all vampires. And Kirsten Dunst was a cute little 12-year-old girl, and she was a vampire girl, and she was horrified, and then she cut her locks, and then her locks all grew back, and she became crazed because she couldn't age anymore. That was a crazy-ass movie. Also, the vampire Lestat is a douchebag.
Yeah.
God damn it, Lestat!
Most vampires are kind of douchebags when you think about it.
Yeah, but Lestat is the one who takes the cake. Oh, that brings me to another thing. The freaking issue of the whole thing with copyright infringement. All of that basically goes to like, you can't put that up. That's copyrighted material. That doesn't belong to you. You're trying to post this as your own. Nice try. Taken down automatically. There are filters on YouTube that do that stuff for copyright protection. It stands to reason that there's levels of that when it comes to YouTube, when it comes to pointing out graphically deplorable or violent or questionable content. Reverie actually brings up an age wall. That's what all other websites can do beyond people doing what they do now. That's another.
Yeah.
There've been
Careful there. That sounds a lot like common sense. Mr.
I know.
Arauz.
My common sense is tingling.
I actually want to take the reins on this one, Juancho, if you don't
Go
mind.
ahead.
I actually want to share this again because, Angel, you actually bounced when I made this comparison near the end of the last week's episode. This whole fiasco all reminds me, and Juan knows what I'm getting at. It reminds me of the entire angle, the entire thing that's going on with that happened in the movie Thank You for Smoking. It's an underrated film with Aaron Eckhart.
I love that film. That film is great.
Yeah. Okay, so then you know where I'm going with this. In the big climax when what's his face when Nick Naylor had to appear in the congressional hearing to contest against this nonprofit organization that's trying to put skulls and crossbones on all of the cigarettes to remind people of the danger of cigarettes, and all he had to do at the end was crush the whole argument down with one thing. It's called education, and education comes from us, adults, grown-ups, parents, teachers, anyone who is an adult, who is of age, who is mature enough to teach the next generation. It is our responsibility as grown-ups to teach the kids of tomorrow about all the rights and wrongs in the world, so that when they get older, when they grow up, they can make the choices for themselves.
Yep, and I love how it breaks down what's his face, William H. Macy's character, the senator from Vermont, like the great state of Vermont will not apologize for its cheese. That freaking line killed me. But he even brought it down. It's like, okay, well, you seem to have a lot to say about what we should do with our children. What of your own? You say that you brought your son over here to support you. What will you do when he turns 18? You seem to have a lot to say about how we should be good parents. How about you? Are you going to spend a lovely afternoon puffing it up like in your ridiculous commercials? Tell me, Mr. Naylor, what will you do when he turns 18? Jose?
To which he said, if my son wants a cigarette, I'll buy him his first pack.
Damn.
We don't need censorship. We don't need these ridiculous protocols that stuttering Schnapper or whatever his last name is. Schnapper. That stuttering Schnapper was trying to walk around. Was trying to say, like, we don't need any of that. Okay, that's not like that was never the problem.
No, the problem that he's saying is that because the algorithm and because of the generation of thumbnails, because YouTube makes the thumbnails, like, okay, motherfucker, get your stuff right. It's not YouTube makes the thumbnails. The thumbnail is either automatically generated from a still image from the video, which is automated, or it is a custom thumbnail, like what we make over here, like what many YouTubers make. See this lovely bit of artwork? It's literally just the frame. Jose whipped it together, got some clip art, got some stuff, whipped it up. There's our logo. I gave Jose the caption for tonight. There's a picture of the Google headquarters and a little transparent PNG file of the judge from the Ace Attorney video games. That's up. That is a creation that we made. It is a compilation. It's clip art. It's composite art, but it's ours. It was made by us. That is our artwork. Why is there a thingy floating? How dare you? There was a little.
I just realized.
Yeah.
That Joe's little comparison with "Thank You for Smoking" is actually more appropriate than you think about it. In lieu of the fact that in the last few generations, that's like half of the generation, we are experiencing an astounding amount of people that are basically being educated and raised, first by television and then by social media. Make no mistake, I'm not taking all the fault away from them, but the man was right when he said that parents and educators are responsible to teaching the children right from wrong so they can make the decision. It is difficult nowadays as a parent to keep track of all the things that your child watches, but it is still your responsibility to educate them into what they can and they cannot watch, into what they should and what they should not watch. Because let's be honest, if we're going to blame YouTube of all things from being responsible for this person being radicalized, then by that logic, we might as well drag a little further and blame their parents for not educating them enough. We can blame their family for letting them fall into those cycles of unpleasant individuals that turn them to this disgusting, messed up way of thinking. And we can go farther and farther and blaming farther and farther disconnections. But at the end of the day, it's still the same thing. YouTube cannot be held accountable if we fail to educate our children, because children are going to learn. And either they will learn from you, their parent, or they will simply learn from somewhere else. And trying to blame somewhere else for your own lack of understanding and lack of attention to your child, well, I basically raised my little bro. My little bro got a lot of YouTube. I didn't see no serial killer. Do you?
No, but I do.
No, Angel, you bring a good point. You do bring a good point. Blaming YouTube shifts the blame and takes the responsibility off of grown-ups.
Exactly. And it's all about avoiding responsibility. Even when we know that we, as parents and siblings and just family in general, should know better. But no, if we can shut our eyes, point at an obvious target, and then pat ourselves in the back pretending that we did something good, we can continue to ignore the atrocities that happen in the world. After all, we did our part.
Angel, I don't see any sort of serial killer with your little brother, but I do see a serious deficiency in social skills. Teach them to fucking talk to people, man. Okay, I love Michael to death. He's your little brother, means he's my little brother too. But for God's sake, tell him to speak up. Tell him to speak up a little. I can't hear you, son. Freaking talk to us, man. I want to hear what you got to say.
Now that he's going to school, he finally got better at it. He can speak in a higher volume than 3 decibels.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
It's great progress, but
it's granular progress, but it is progress upward. Emily Morris is in the chat. How's it going, Emily Morris? Welcome to the Blackfiles. We're trying to teach people to take responsibility for themselves. Which, by the way, Jose Angel, this mic drop is for you. Also, because that's an old mic, I don't care about it.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, I'm over here, and I'm just reminded. You remember? Thank you for smoking. I'm reminded of one line from the one who shall not be fucked with, the man from 8 Mile, Detroit, Michigan, the man who taught us all who the real Slim Shady is, Grammy Award-winning artist Eminem, in the Marshall Mathers LP, in the first verse. right before he hits into the chorus over here. Like just the last couple of lines over here. You want me to fix up lyrics while our president gets his dick sucked? F that, take drugs, that stuff, make fun of that, men wear makeup, get aware, wake up, get a sense of humor, quit trying to censor music. This is for the kids' amusement. But don't blame me when little Eric jumps off of the terrace. You should have been watching him. Apparently, you ain't parents. This guy raised his daughter, Haley, to be a lovely young lady, college graduate. She's got her own podcast now. She's doing her own thing. He's still living it up. He's still knocking albums out of the park. He's done his job as a father.
Yeah, as a good parent.
And like I don't know about you, but like okay, you can criticize how God he's had horrible offensive lyrics and stuff. There's messages in those lyrics. There's messages in the crap that he says. Even back in 2000 when he was a pissed off 30-year-old, like 28-year-old, whatever, pissed off guy, young father, in the middle of messy divorces and messy mom issues, all that crap. Even then, back in 2000, he knew this shit. Where the fuck were we? Where were we listening?
Because
listen to the words of the slimmest of shadies. He will wreck you if you don't. Don't believe me? Ask Machine Gun Kelly. Oh, wait, you can't because he's busy being a freaking desiccated corpse after Megan Fox got done with him, after Shady got done with him, destroying him off of the rap scene. Yeah, Megan Fox took Slim Shady's sloppy seconds and destroyed what was left of the guy. And I'm here
living. Does that mean that Eminem literally ended that man's whole career?
Pretty much.
But hey, point in case though, Mr. M of the M's was 100% right. No matter what circumstances around the world, it is true that children are complicated things to deal with. There is, unfortunately, no guarantee that your child will turn out right, no matter how well you try to raise them, because after all, children are somewhat unpredictable. But a child is a reflection of their parents, and if you raise them well, there's a very big chance that they will turn out to be into good, decent people and productive members of society. And I'm no one to tell people how to raise their children. Lord knows I barely have any experience on that matter.
You've got enough experience, man. You and I, we're cut from the same cloth. By the way, before I continue, Gene Rick went ahead and dropped a $9.99 super chat. Thank you very much. Gene Rick, LOL, tuned in just in time to catch a Juancho rant.
The best time.
No.
The greatest of times.
Tune in tomorrow night.
Yeah, no, for real. Well, that's more of a pro wrestling rant. And even Legend of Traveling TARDIS saying, YouTube is not a parent. It is meant to entertain. Educate, inform. It is a platform. What we put on it is up to us. What we consume off of it is up to us. Taking
there it is.
The agency away from the individuals in this attempt at this lawsuit is freaking insulting, like Angel's trying to say. It's an insult to people as individuals. It takes agency away from parents, from individual people, even grown-ass adults. Because, guarantee you, the person who took the life of poor Noemi Gonzalez back in 2015, pretty sure they were a grown-ass adult, either that or a young adult. But he had to go out of his way to go looking for this stuff.
Yeah, you gotta understand. Barring the occasional crime of passion, which admittedly continues, this was a premeditated assault. This is not the kind of thing that you just snap out of and decide to do. This took steps, this took planning, and this took thinking. This took plenty of time for the offending party to go, maybe this is a terrible idea, maybe I shouldn't do this. Let's be honest, if they got to the point that they committed murder upon an innocent person for the irredeemable sin of being from a different culture or race...
Or religion in this case.
Or religion, there is nothing YouTube could have done about that. That mind was already warped and consumed by hatred. This is the kind of people that make me wish for the existence of hell, because I know that sometimes human justice just doesn't feel like it's enough. But I digress. As our commenters have ever so gracefully put forth, it all boils down to the same point. They are trying to take away blame and accountability from the criminal and trying to put it on a media platform. The fact that this has failed so many times, they had to bring it to the Supreme Court because every other court told them to go away, should tell you something. And I feel like we must emphasize this. I am not trying to seem cruel or unsympathetic to the parents of the woman who died. That is a terrible situation. That those evil days will be theirs, as no parent should ever have to bury their child. It is a grief that I cannot begin to fathom, so I will not insult their pain by claiming that I understand. But this is not the way to go. Assuming that this isn't just a way to try to get money, and they really are trying to lash out on grief, this is not how it's going to work. And on the very unlikely case they would succeed, it would never give them the results they wanted.
I'm over here and I pull up the CNN coverage of this stuff over here. I'm even showing. I'll share the link for y'all to watch it, to see this over here. It's easy enough to find. Okay, you scroll down from the beginning of their. Stop it! I'm not signing up for any more emails. Stop it. Takeaways from today's oral arguments on the Gonzalez v. Google case and how it could reshape the internet. I'm going to scroll past the first couple of articles. You have Beatriz Gonzalez and Jose Hernandez, Noemi's stepfather. They were over here even after all this time. They spoke to the media outside the steps of the Supreme Court while their lawyer, Schnapper, fumbles his freaking way through the highest court in all the land and makes what even... Okay, I'm not a lawyer. Okay, obligatory disclaimer time. Sorry, I got it. One more time. We here at the Ravens Flock are not lawyers. Do not come to us for legal advice. We are laymen trying to interpret what the hell's happening in a court of law. If you try to come to us for legal advice, we will demand that you pay us first.
Right.
If you come to us for legal advice, we will demand that you pay us first, and then we will point you to a lawyer in your area. We will keep your money. We are that shameless. Okay?
If you insist upon it, we will somehow give you even worse information.
Exactly. Okay, thank you. All right. So, I've seen enough. I know enough about this case, and I know enough about this situation to know there is no way that the Supreme Court can go into this carte blanche and say, yeah, let's go ahead and take the gloves off, side on the side of the case of Gonzalez. That's it. We're done. No more protection for websites. Sue YouTube. They're responsible. They're culpable for what happened to your daughter, too. It's their fault, too. And here is how and why. It'll never fly. As a matter of fact, in the middle of all this, there was so many mentions of how Congress should be responsible for seeing how this would lay on it. The Supreme Court was saying, we're pretty sure we're not the right arm of government to try to interpret this stuff, to try to justify taking one part of the law and not applying it to this case for XYZ reasons.
Exactly.
Even in the foginess of Kager Kavanaugh, who's like Jose loves making fun of. Jose, give me another beer. Come on.
Look,
I know you.
I like beer.
I know you fucking.
Okay.
I know you're here for it.
I went to Yale.
Fucking
all right. I busted my ass to get to law school. I lifted weights. So you're telling me that even through the alcoholic haze of American beer clouding this man's liver, brain, and spotted hairs, even he was like, wait a minute.
Something don't smell right. The only one who seems even somewhat giddy to try to overturn it was Neil Gorsuch, and he seemed like, oh yeah, no, I could see how this.
No, Brett Kavanaugh was not. Brett Kavanaugh was like, I ain't drunk enough yet. Give me more beer.
I ain't drunk enough. Exactly.
Sip. You're telling me, Sip, that this law, Sip, sounds like Sip bullshit.
Glug. That he was sipping like King of the Hill. Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm. I don't have any more soda to sip. Damn it. Point is,
all so incredibly
in all of this, all of them, nearly all of them, and even freaking Clarence Thomas, who was earlier very stern, like, oh no, Section 230 in the internet's very concerning. This is all very problematic. We should do something on this. And like, even him in the opening of this stuff, like we said, page fucking 5 was like, so what's the point? You defeated your own argument. Explain to me how.
Yeah.
Even this guy,
Situation's falling apart.
who, the less we say about his character, Anita King is a saint. She is a freaking hero, and he doesn't deserve to be in the robes he's in. That's not the point. The point is, even he could see through that bull crap.
It's ridiculous.
It's very much so ridiculous.
And the problem
but
is,
this isn't over yet. But this isn't over yet, is it? They have another. Hearing. When will it be? Tomorrow?
no, there's no more oral arguments regarding Gonzalez v. Google, as far as we can tell. No, what's happening today was the other Supreme Court case. That's the one of Twitter v. Tammany over here. That one specifically deals with whether or not it violates, what is it, JASTA? Let me find that one over here.
Yes, Twitter and the Supreme Court, because that's exactly
oh God, Justice Against Sponsors of Terrorism Act. Good God.
Yeah, give it a big threatening name. So everybody knows that you are the good guy because you name after the bad guys. This feels like we're back to the video game panic of the 1990s.
It's
Jack Thompson everywhere.
The panic of the video game 1990s hasn't left.
Jack Thompson may no longer be around, but his idiotic legacy lingers on.
Pretty much. It's like that one cockroach that keeps lingering for decades, refusing to die.
The issue of Twitter v. Tammany is actually a little bit more complicated than that. Let me break it down for you here. Jordanian citizen Narwa Al-Saf passed away in 2017 during an attack by the same a-holes in Istanbul, in Turkey. Arguing that the companies failed to control terrorist content on their site, Al-Saf's family sued Twitter, Google, and Facebook, arguing that the lower court decision improperly expanded the scope of the Anti-Terrorism Act, U.S. Code Section 18, subsection 2333. Twitter appealed, arguing the case warranted review from SCOTUS. On the appeal, the Ninth Court did not consider protections under Section 230 in the case and affirmed that the lower court ruling stated that Twitter, Google, and Facebook could be liable. Basically meaning that Twitter, Google, and Facebook were used as a platform for these a-holes to convene and to knowingly get together, and that Twitter knew of this, and it kind of falls on their ass.
Indeed it does. Excuse me for a second. I'll be right back.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no worries, man. That being, okay, fair enough. On the Twitter part, I do apologize. I guess for making light of it. I was really close to making a joke and saying, yeah, because that's the last thing that Elon Musk needs.
You really want me to make another Space Baby Dick Rocket joke?
No.
Okay, because I don't know if I have enough energy to put in my fake Elon Musk voice. Okay. Oh, Juancho Ranch now in creamy buttermilk. Buttermilk.
No! Come on, man!
Listen, I know you're lactose intolerant. That's what they make lactate pills for, okay? They're chewable, they're vanilla flavored, and they work almost automatically. Taste my ranch, Jose. Taste it.
No!
Let the flavor of the Juancho Ranch consume you. Nom, 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 nom. Brett Kavanaugh must have been a fan of the Sandman, says Vicente Guerrero. Ha!
God, you're disgusting.
How am I disgusting? Traveling TARDIS is the one who is putting up a Juancho Ranch. Maybe that's something we could sell. Who knows? That freaking disgusting pink sauce that this one gross TikTok lady was trying to sell in wholesale that is totally not FDA approved and has like germs and stuff in the production of it. If she can make money off of that, I can sponsor Juancho Ranch. Just make sure it's got a little bit of a kick to it. I like my ranch with a bit of a kick. Just enough to give the creaminess a little more personality. I'm okay with endorsing that. Can we get a hold of a freaking ranch sauce dressing recipe, Jose, that we could sell, that we can put our name on? Can we do it, Mr. Lord and Ruler of the Ravens flock? May we look into this?
We'll table that discussion another time.
I hate you. That always translates into, no, I don't want it because it's not my idea. Win! How dare you?
No, that's
Win!
not the point,
Win!
okay?
Win!
Oh,
How dare you?
God.
I'm a chilindrina, you ass.
Yeah. Well, that being said, it is quarter till midnight. I do need to bounce. Yeah, this is the first time. I'm the one to bounce first before Angel.
Go figure. All right. Okay. In that case, Jose, you go ahead and you bounce out first, and give us your final thoughts, and go ahead and plug on for tonight of WrestleMania.
Let me take the reins here. So my final thoughts on this whole matter here is, see, here's the thing.
Apologies for the delay. I had to take out the garbage and get myself some ginger beer.
No, you're fine, Angel. I'm actually about to bounce because it's actually quarter till midnight. So to give my final thought before I leave. See, I knew that this was going to fold on the idiot side, on stuttering sharpener and whatever the fuck. But I didn't know that it was Schnapper. But I didn't know it was going to be hilariously bad, where I had to chuckle every time I hear him stutter, or every time I tried to hear him beat around the bush, anytime he's asked a question, anytime that he is asked to explain his statements, explain his reasoning, which makes no goddamn sense. So, yeah, no. At first, when this story first broke out, admittedly, yes, I did have my worries. I will be honest, but now after hearing this, after hearing the audio file from the Supreme Court hearing, it's not going to happen. Everything is going to be fine. We're going to be good. Everything is going to be business as usual. Juan, you can continue watching all of the compilation videos you want. That's Boston legal related or whatever you do at your free time. Angel, you can continue surfing through and finding videos of hentai or going through 4chan, and you don't have to worry about any consequences.
Thank God. I was worried there for a second. Also, by the way, Juan, take my compliments to your wife. This Bundaberg beer is amazing.
I'll go ahead and let K-Storm know. I will definitely let her know. Go ahead.
But getting back to the subject, I think that nothing is going to change. I think that things are going to continue the way they are. They have to continue the way they are because it's just. I'm sorry. This whole thing is goddamn stupid. It's absolutely fucking stupid, and I'm not trying. And just like Angel, I'm not trying to.
Whoa, Jose!
Yeah,
you dropped an F-bomb.
Can't blame him.
We're near the end of the episode. I think I'm good.
There we go. Yeah, but you're the one who's trying like crazy to not swear at all, to not drop F-bombs at all.
Let me get back to the point.
Okay, right. I'll take my victory lap after you go, Jose.
All right, we're getting off subject. Let me get back to the point. Listen, I am not trying to put down the tragedy of the Gonzalez family, okay? I'm not trying to put it down or anything like that. Unless like Angel said, unless they're trying to use this as a ploy to try to get more money, like criminals would. But this is not the way to go. And there's really not much else I can add to it. I mean, this stuff is just going to roll. This stuff is just going to slide off the backs of the Supreme Court after everything is done.
You think so? Because
listen, it's 2023. If Brett Kavanaugh, the man who there's a lot to unpack with him outside of my beer jokes, outside of my parody jokes, there's a lot to unpack with this guy. If even he was not stupid enough to fall for this idiot's rhetoric, then yeah, I think we're going to be fine.
There's one thing here. We were mentioning the Twitter v. Tammany case. It turns out that the reason why the Supreme Court on yesterday, went ahead and sort of shelved it is because while they were trying like crazy to make it make sense, Amy Coney Barrett, Justice Karen herself, said, like, you know what? We might actually get a clearer view of what the role of the platform will be when we deliberate the Twitter v. Tammany case on Wednesday. So,
Okay, I was referring to the Google versus Gonzalez case.
no, I'm saying no. She said that the Google v. Gonzalez case, we might be able to get a clearer case, a clearer, what do you call it? A clearer path forward on how we're gonna rule on it once we hear about the Twitter v. Tammany case, because the two issues are so closely related. They're both related to websites. They're both related to what the social media platforms' responsibilities are as platform providers. And
that's great. Yep. No, that's great. And now watch that go nowhere either. I'm
maybe.
sorry. I have high hopes. I'm sorry. Is it wrong for me to be hopeful? I think that things will just go as business as usual.
There occurs to me there was a point where Severus Schnapp over here was talking about his argument. And I don't know, it was like you putting up an idea and slowly realizing, wow, I am saying the dumbest thing. Like, you could tell on his face. Every time he stumbled and he had to go back to the sentence, you could tell by the look on his face, it's like, I can't believe I'm saying this. This is sounding dumber when I actually say it. Like, when you put it on paper, it makes sense. But then it comes out of your mouth and you go, oh, no, it's stupid.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, Juancho, I get what you're doing. I know exactly what you're doing. It's something we need to pay attention to. But I don't think we should be sweating, okay? I really don't think that we should be sweating.
You think? You think we shouldn't?
Yeah.
You're sure?
I agree with you on this one. I believe that there is nothing to worry about in this particular case because there is too much money in it.
Yes, Angel, you bring up another good point. There's too much money to lose.
The companies will not stand for that. It would like the amount of money that YouTube and Twitter are pulling on advertising alone keeps those business floating. If this was true, it would block every single way for them to make money, and it would block any other website. It would literally destroy these media platforms. They are not.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. For like, do you want to go in front of the public and tell all the business owners, tell all the people who monetize, who make money off the platforms, and tell them, nope, sorry, can't do it.
No, you're right. Yeah, no, you're going to have to take your millions and millions of Dolans, of which the Ravens flock is still demonetized from as of this point, folks, by the way. I'm not going to stop bringing that up, Uncle Neil. It's your problem now. Wah, we the bad baby. Wipe our booties. Wah.
Juancho wants milk.
Get up and do your job.
Somebody fetch him a nipple.
No, but like, okay.
Anyway, so that being said, these are my final thoughts. Now, I do have a couple of announcements before I bounce. So, for tomorrow night's edition of Wrestle Rewind, along with my reviews of WWE, NXT, AEW Dynamite, and Impact Wrestling, which, by the way, airs, we're live Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern right here on YouTube and Twitch. I will also be reviewing the main event of WWE's Elimination Chamber, which saw Roman Reigns defend the undisputed WWE Universal title against his former honorary Uce, Sami Zayn.
Oh boy, here we go.
Angel, we saw that match after we went off the air Saturday night. You
were
on the edge of your seat.
You saw the drama.
I was jumping off my ass, man. When it turned into a Super Smash Brothers level and they started throwing in stage hazards, I knew I was in for a rollicking good time.
And I will talk about that, but I will also talk about it. I don't want to hear any argument with you, Juan. You keep it to yourself.
Your show, your rules. No, you're going to hear arguments from me. It's just going to be live, and I'm just going to be following along because at this point I have no choice.
Because you're a bitch, that's why.
I'm a bitch. You're the one who's over here bitching and complaining like, oh, I can't do this thing, Juan. I'm still scared. You do it. How am I a bitch? What?
One day, we're going to reach the absolute limit, and in the middle of one of our podcasts, somehow, Logan Paul is going to show up, kick a chair over, fall out the window, and then the podcast will continue exactly as before.
What, on our show?
Yes.
You think Logan Paul, that banana-suited douchebag,
yes,
is going to somehow come down here anymore. To Florida, away from his cushy mansion, from his girlfriend of the week, from his own podcast, from his crappy crypto zoo, from his WWE tour. You think he's gonna come here just to bust through
he's no longer a person.
Our glass door here?
Angel, I get what you're saying, but nah, bro. He's busy trading for WrestleMania in Hollywood. He's still got a month to go.
That's it. No, he will show up because he's no longer a person. Logan Paul is officially classified as a stage hazard.
So getting back on topic. So along with that, I also want to discuss a match that happened in the New Japan Pro Wrestling pay-per-view event that's called Battle in the Valley, which took place on the same day as Elimination Chamber. And I want to talk about Mercedes Moné, who was formerly Sasha Banks from the WWE, challenging Kairi Sane, who is another ex-WWE superstar, for the IWGP Women's Championship. There's a lot to discuss with that match as well, and I'll be talking about it tomorrow night.
Aaron Cooper made it in last minute over here, but it's okay. Aaron, thank you for joining us here on the Black Files. And I did want to mention also, Planet Q's Queen was saying earlier, well, we can't teach Amber Heard to take any responsibility. Lord knows she ain't gonna, but still, that's a whole nother can of worms that I think we're done unloading and playing with over here. The worms have made their nests out in the rich soil of the earth. We shall not open a new can of worms. It's as far as Amber Heard's concerned. She wants attention. We're not going to give it to her.
No, we're not opening up a can of worms, but I am opening up my blanket to go to bed. So thank you very much for having me on, Juancho. I really do appreciate it. Angel, it was awesome talking with you.
Likewise, fam. I'll see you next Saturday.
Saturday.
Yes, indeed. Have a good night, folks. Just remember, be responsible about where you're getting your news from, and remember that we're all human beings.
Or better or worse.
Thank you, Jose. That was the head of the Ravens flock, Jose Casabonas, giving his good nights and his farewells. Angel, I'm pretty sure you're probably going to be clocking out soon here too, right?
That is correct. I don't really have much to say that I haven't already said. By virtue of sheer monetary pragmatism, this will not go through. And that compared with the fact that the absolute shenanigans that has gone down with this whole mess should let us know that this is not going to work out for them, man. Because they are specifically going out of their way to shoot themselves in the foot, and the foot ain't stopping shot. So I'm just going to let this one ride and wait for it to not work. Sorry for their loss, but I'm not sorry for this loss.
No, I hear that. I hear them, man. The point that I was trying to make in all of this when I was talking about the Gonzalez family being in front of the Supreme Court while their bumble fumble stuttering schnapper was inside the halls of the Supreme Court making an ass of himself, I can't help but notice Beatriz Gonzalez, her look. The look in her eyes in this photo they have over here. Jose Hernandez, her husband, the stepfather of Noemi, he's the one speaking, but Beatriz Gonzalez, she's the one silent. She's got the kind of resolution that you get of being a parent who doesn't have a child anymore.
Yeah.
And that, I've seen it in my experience, sadly enough, one too many times. It was only once, and that once was one time too many. But I understand it. That doesn't mean what her and her attorneys and her husband and the party that she's a part of here, it doesn't mean what they're doing is correct.
Yeah.
Because, yes, what happened was tragic. But it's not going to bring her daughter back. It's going to make things worse for other people who had nothing to do with this. What can we say? I'm sorry for your loss, but there's nothing more that can be done. The men who were responsible have been caught, have been dealt with in accordance to the law. There's nothing further.
Yeah. It's not a perfect solution, but this is, sadly, not a perfect world. Not much else that can be done beyond that point. I mean, we could always bring back that whole public execution thing. It was pretty popular back in the heyday. You know, get the guillotine, get the kids, get them hyped, get the family. Entertainment for everybody kind of thing.
Like, let's see if you can let's see who wins the bet on which direction the next spurt's gonna spurt out. Will it be straight ahead? Will it lean out to the right, to the left? Will it just pool out when the head goes off? Or will we get one of those awesome Akira Kurosawa style freaking fire hose when the head goes off?
Be wary of the
take your
splash
bets
zone.
now. That's terrible. We're horrible people. Like I said,
Hey, man,
don't hire us as
we yearn
attorneys.
for justice. Even if the justice might not be quite just, we cannot help but to. It is only human to desire punishment upon criminals.
Afraid so, and yet the punishment was already dealt.
No, we need more.
No, the punishment against the criminals has been dealt.
No, you don't understand. Juan, this is not about justice.
What's this
We
about
want
then?
vengeance.
Vengeance.
Revengeance, even.
I knew. Oh no!
For real, though, speaking from a serious point, it's not a matter of justice. It's a matter of vengeance. You want that piece of shit to pay for taking away your daughter's life.
He is paying. He has paid.
That's not enough. It doesn't feel like enough. Let me put it this way, Juan. As a husband and a father, would you be satisfied if the same thing happened to your child? And the only consolation you know is that this person is going to remain alive and well, locked away where nobody else can touch them and they can hurt no one. Rationally speaking, that is just. But will your heart tell you the same thing?
I can't say. I don't know. Because I
That's
also
okay.
know myself. I know that I'm going to have that conflict of rationality versus emotionality. I'm going to have that conflict of it's been dealt with. The person who's responsible is behind bars. They're convicted. They're going to rot in a hole for the rest of their lives, for the rest of their worthless, miserable life. And who knows? Maybe they'll be in a circumstance where the DP, the unalivement by the state, might be considered as an option. It won't bring my child back, but this person will not get away with it. And they didn't get away with it. Yeah, I get that. But I'm not going to inflict my pain on the rest of the world because of the method this person used. This person used a firearm. Is part of a coordinated attack of shooting and unaliving people in Paris. That's what happened back in 2015. It was horrible. And they all organized on their own. That doesn't necessarily mean that the root of it was YouTube. Yeah, YouTube has a lot of dumb crap on it. We had the Elsagate situation. We have that filthy YouTube pedophile Niskan, which I'm glad that he's getting his lawsuit.
Finally.
I'm glad that he's getting his civil suit. It's not a criminal suit, but it's a start. It's hitting him on the only currency that matters to him, which is currency.
Sometimes we gotta take all we can. See, that right there is an example of an imperfect solution.
It's
In
an
a better
imperfect solution
world,
for an imperfect
This man
world.
will be in jail. But like I said, we can only speak about this because we are not, despite our efforts, as emotionally connected as the family who lost their child. We cannot be. No matter how much we want to, we cannot fully be on their shoes. We know that the anger is irrational. But would we be any different? Can we truly 100% say that we could really be the bigger men here?
We can't.
I don't know if I could.
We can't say for sure. I know that I certainly I can't say for sure. Anyone who's a parent or anyone who has a family member that they care for deeply or a loved one, you're not going to, I know for a fact that as painful as that is, inflicting that pain and making the rest of the world share in your pain by taking away and advocating, taking away a key element of an online platform that isn't just shared by members of the Islamic State, but is shared by everyone in the freaking world, that won't solve anything.
Yeah.
It'll
we know.
make it worse, if not just it would have nothing to do with my child's memory. I would advocate for taking action directly against the faction that is responsible for this stuff. And yeah, they have a worldwide reach, but that's on their own websites. That's they share videos on YouTube, but guess what? They also share them on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Reddit, and wherever they don't find it on there, they'll find it on other websites. Are you going to go after all of those by going after this law? Because that's apparently what they're trying to do. They're trying to say, like, no, every single website, it's just that Google and YouTube are the biggest ones.
You just answered your own question. If they could, they would.
And that's why they're trying.
When it comes to getting vengeance, it's no longer about who you hurt. It's about your own satisfaction. That's why the line between both is both difficult yet easy to decipher. You can tell where the point becomes no longer justice, when it becomes, I want the rest of the world to feel as bad as I do. It's a rather sad state of affair, but it's also an unescapable aspect of the human condition. And it is up to us, as individuals, to overcome that aspect of the human condition. Oh, look at that. We're back to the smoking movie references. Ha!
How about that?
Indeed. But I most unfortunately go from this point. This has been a very excellent discussion, Juan. I sincerely hope that things go into the positive ways at this part, because I know exactly how this is going to turn into. But nonetheless, I will remain positive in this matter. For I believe that regardless of the circumstances, for once, and I can't believe I'm saying this, the big corporation should, in fact, prevail. But we'll see where that goes. And I'll see you on Saturday.
All right, see you then, Angel. Which, by the way, what are we doing Saturday again? Oh, yeah, that's right. You've got Los Amigos Play, don't you?
That's right, my friend. At 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll have another episode of Los Amigos Play, where my humble self, alongside you and Mr. Joe, will be engaging in yet another batshit episode of Bayonetta 3, where somehow things have become even more complicated, even more insane, and even more ludicrous weapons have become available to me yet again. So I hope I'll see you guys there just the same.
We appreciate it, Angel. You have yourself a good night, man. Take care, okay? Get some sleep.
Likewise.
And there goes Angel Mendez. Folks, that's that in terms of Angel and Jose. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys my closing thoughts on all this, we're finishing up Bayonetta as best we can. Vicente, let me see, F-bomb's totally warranted here. Let me see here. That was a, yep. Let me see. Florida's crazy like that. We got a creator clash for the sole reason that if you die in the ring, you die. Let's see. Sounds like he works with the prosecuting attorney from the trial. Ugh. Yeah. It kind of sounds like that, doesn't he, Planet Q's Queen? Let me see here. Oh, Zux. Rebecca Zux. How's it going? You're in, I remember you're in Australia. I know you're probably just getting up to us over here. We appreciate you. Welcome to the Theblackfiles. We're wrapping up over here, actually. It's, this has been a hell of a case to follow. And the only reason why I knew that we had to follow this was because of the repercussions of what could happen to YouTube, how this could impact the Ravens flock, how this could impact Popcorn Planet, Steph the Alternerd, Nerd Report, Amy in the Closet with Amy Goodhart. It's Kim. It's going to impact all of us. Nuke the Fridge, Grayson Report, and that's just on YouTube. If anything were to happen with Section 230 of the Telecommunications Act of 96, if there was any way that the Supreme Court decided, we're just going to throw it all out, then there goes the neighborhood, as it was. It was fun while it lasted. I don't think that it's going to go that way. I had a lot of trepidation and I had a lot of concern over here. Hey, kid. Night-night. Love you. My little kid's a night owl. Or at least they try not to be. But, I'm going ahead and told them good night. Point is, I'm a little bit more optimistic now. Only because, like, Jose, Angel, you folks in the chat, anyone else who was following on this, could see the way the Supreme Court was working this out is like, okay, all 9 of these folks were saying, all right, you argue your point, and all 9 of us are going to see what holes can be poked through your argument. You argue your case and poke it, and we'll see if we can poke it through. All right, and the dude from the Justice Department, freaking, god dang it, Malcolm Stewart. You're gonna try to translate the technologicalese, the technobabble, to us dumb shits. And we'll interpret from there. We'll give hypotheticals and you'll go ahead and let us know from there. And I'm over here thinking, okay, these guys are all going to lean in their political biases. The appointments of the Supreme Court have been extremely politicized over the last couple of years, as they have been. Folks are thinking like, okay, well, we're not going to let this guy have all these Supreme Court nominees, all these seats. And the other side's been having the same arguments. I'm not trying to argue that part of it. I was saying that was my concern, especially with the overturning of Roe v. Wade, which allowed state laws to come in and take away individual liberties for women and people with uteruses. My concern was, if this same body, if this same legislative branch can go this far and also say that corporations count as people and their free speech comes in the form of money. So political free speech means you can spend as much money as you want if you're a corporation, which is another dog shit, dog water interpretation of the law that I am not a fan of. You can understand my worry, I hope, about Gonzalez v. Google, and now with the Twitter v. Tammany hearing that happened today. I want to believe that we'll be all right, and hopefully we will be. And with that being said, all we could do is cross our fingers and see whether or not if common sense and sanity prevails, and to see if we'll still have our brilliantly flawed, silly website where we get cat videos and pimple popping videos and clips of our weddings and tutorials on how to do car work on your own and weird, crazy stunts and Mr. Beast throwing money at people to flex how cool he is and to help people out at the same time, which is weird in a questionable way, but people like it anyway. But he's not inherently a bad person. It's just, what the hell? This is the society we live in. And also you get 3 a-holes in front of a camera spitting the truth since 2013, making your voice our mission. I believe they're called the Ravens Flock. I'm referring to us. I'm referring to me, to Jose, to Angel. Jose is the man with the plan. I'm the dude who's neurotically trying to break this stuff down. Angel's the dude who's here to set everything on fire and watch it all burn. Darmon. I don't even want to get into Darmon right now. That stupidity is a whole nother level. On the one hand, all their videos are inspirational and they're also really cheap and kind of dumb. But on the other hand, Darmon doesn't pay his actors. So what the friggity hell? I would say it over here that every single one of these folks, every single one of the folks that I've ever worked with in any independent movie group that I've ever been in, every single one of them works, and they each deserve $1 million payday. So I don't know what the hell Darmon's paying his people. Nothing. Or peanuts, but whatever. That's another discussion for another time. Hopefully we'll still have this weird platform the way it is, flawed as it may be, but maybe we'll have some work with our and maybe this will kick Uncle Neil into high gear and get him to work stuff out here, and we'll be along for the ride. And hopefully you'll be there to join us and support us. We appreciate every single one of you guys. I want to thank everyone who was in the chat tonight. I want to welcome the Mr. Andy Signor from Popcorn Planet. He's part of the Mod Squad on our end. It's only fair. And I want to thank every one of you folks who were joining us tonight and who've been joining us over here on another edition of the uncensored, uncompromising interview and review podcast of the Ravens Flock, The Black Files, hosted by me, me, Juan Arauz. Tune in live every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, simulcasting on YouTube and Twitch as we break down to you the latest news, as we break down a single story in the world of nerd and pop culture, and we cut into the dark side of this stuff, and we hopefully cut to the heart of the matter. Tune in every Wednesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, simulcasting on YouTube and Twitch. Hit the subscribe and the follow button, ring the notification bell, become an inner flocker by hitting the join button, and until next time, continue to follow us on Facebook.com/TheRavensFlock, Twitter.com/RavensFlock13, Instagram.com/TheRavensFlockOnline, Twitch.tv/TheRavensFlockOnline, and of course, remember to hit the subscribe button and ring that notification bell right here on our flagship platform, YouTube.com/TheRavensFlock. Humble home of the Blackfiles, Los Amigos Play, Wrestle Rewind, and the Ravens Flock. For Jose Casabona and Angel Mendez, I am Juan Arauz. This has been the Blackfiles, and we are